Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello, good evening. Hello, thanks for coming in. As you come in, like for me, as you come in, like for me, as you come in, like and share, as you come in, like and share. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope everyone had a good day today. I know this is midweek, and midweek seem to be the hardest because it's close to the weekend. You're tired, but I hope you pull through. And if you have more days left, you get a good night's sleep tonight to continue the rest of the week. Okay. So tonight, I'm going to discuss a very important phase that families go through. And as a senior, sometimes it's not always possible to live in your home for the duration of your life. So you've tried to use a caregiver as much as possible to stay home, but it's costly. It's very, very costly. And you're at a crossroads. You're at a crossroads. You're at a crossroad because you've been using private care or agency care, and mom, dad, whomever the family member is getting to the point where the hours that you can afford, because if you can remember in my last episode, I taught, well, not the last one, a few episodes back, I spoke about how hours are being cut because families are tasked with the responsibility of paying for care, and members are now home to assist. But there's another area in that the individual is in need of more care, and your budget cannot cover paying independently or paying through an agency. Sorry about that. Varied senior housing. Today is facility housing, group home housing. Seniors don't like group homes. If they move out of their home, they need a little more socialization. Even though I've seen group homes that try to have a lot of activities, I've heard families say, welcome, welcome, thanks for joining. Push that thumbs up button for me as you enter. I've heard families says that their family member would rather a larger crowd. So group homes are not for everybody. Group homes are not for everybody. Most group homes, thank you. Most group homes are not able to take more than 10 people. I think I've seen just a handful that can take 20, but for the most part, most group homes are licensed for 10. So the individual that is looking for senior placement that wants a little more socialization, especially where the opposite sex are concerned, they want to have a good amount of men on the premises or in the building. And yes, man, yes, because they're older doesn't mean that their desires for companionship and laughter from the opposite sex has diminished. Not for everyone. Social interaction with the opposite sex, you would not believe that that is apart from food, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Apart from food, the socialization to be able to interact with the opposite sex is one of the top 10 that I have experienced that individuals are looking for. They want to know that when happy hour comes, that they're male in the mix, that they're males in the mix. So a group home for some people, majority of the ones I've met, is not. Thank you for coming in. Click that thumbs up for me, please, as you come in. So the group home is not necessarily a good fit for a person that is sociable, that wants the interaction. So then we're looking at senior facilities. Senior facilities. And when we talk about senior facilities, we're looking for a one-stop shop building. What do I mean by that? So you're entering at 87, 76. Most individuals that I've spoken to request a building that has 3 tiers: independent living, assisted living, and nursing home. Because they would like to know that if they get sick or if the needs arise where they're going to need more assistance, that they don't have to move again. They just transfer to the next area. So in preparing to move into a senior living community, it takes a lot of time. It takes work. If you're not working with a social worker or your nurse, most individuals will turn to welcome, thank you for coming on. They will turn to a senior finders. Senior finder platforms will give them a group of homes to look into. So you've gotten 3 homes. How do you prepare for that? First and foremost, understand your budget. Understand your budget, but also just go online and Google what your preferences, what you're looking for. So are you looking for a studio apartment? Are you looking for 1 bedroom? Are you looking for a 2 bedroom? Or are you looking for a suite? Because they come in that type of tier. And there also comes in average, almost luxury, and then luxury. Now the luxury placements, we leave that for last. So you have Googled You've found a senior platform that will assist you with referrals. Your budget, you understand your budget, you've Googled and you've seen how the price ranges are set. And what I would suggest is that while you're planning, hello, Princess Rose. Oh, I so appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate you for doing that. So you understand your budget and you also have a working knowledge of what to expect out there. You know what you're looking for. Now, when you go for most of these homes, you can't just walk in. You might be able sometimes to walk in and get a tour, but most of these homes, you have to schedule a tour. I apologize for that. I got a new computer system, but there seems to be a glitch, so it had to be sent back. So I'm waiting for it, so I'm using my phone. I apologize for that interruption. I can't turn it off, then you won't be able to hear me. So again, I apologize. So I was saying most of the facilities or the homes, let's say homes, are not a walk-in tourable situation. So you have to contact them, you make an appointment, and you go in for the tour. I would suggest that apart from doing your homework with knowing what your budget is and getting a knowledge of what the expectation is for pricing, I would suggest that you make a list. You make a list of the things that you must have. That not a toilet paper. You will get toilet paper. You will get toilet paper. But your must-haves, the things that you must have, are you the type of individual that love tasty, good food? If you are that type of individual that your doctor's order is for you to eat whatever you want, and you don't like institutional style cooking, meaning Wednesday is mashed potato and meatloaf, and Thursday you might get roast chicken and mashed potato again, be specific. Be specific. One of the things that I've seen over the years that really caused decrease in census in these senior communities is the food. The food is number one, and the staffing is number two. So if you're going in for independent living because you no longer want to cook for yourself and you no longer want to do your laundry and housekeeping, and you have tried all of that and it has come up to be so costly, and you have long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance, and I'm not talking about Medicare or Medicaid now. I'm talking about private insurance that you have paid into over your employment life. If you have that insurance, they pay a minimum to have somebody in the home, but they pay more for you to live in an assisted living, independent living, nursing home facility. So if you have long-term care insurance, call your long-term care representative and ask them how much they allow or how much they would pay for your care. And when you have done that, if you have extra to put on it, so they'll pay for a studio, but if you get a 1-bedroom, you'll only have to pay $500 more. Those are the things you put on your list. Those are the things you put on your list. The food, as I said before, the food, how, if you're an independent living, you're on your own. Most independent living individuals can do everything for themselves. They just need the housekeeping, they need the activities and the companionship in the community. They can go down to eat, they make their own menus. So there's very little that is done for them. Now for the assisted living, and when we talk about assisted living, and this is where I find a lot of seniors get confused. Assisted living is exactly what it says. You are assisted according to your evaluation. So you're evaluated when you get to the facility. They evaluate you to see the needs and how they can support that need. But your support is medication, assisting you to take a shower, doing your laundry, doing your housekeeping, and come to make a 1 hour or more check on you. So it's not a full care service. And this is where I find a lot of folk get very frustrated when they go into an assisted living because the expectation does not match what the home provides. So on your list, if you're going into an assisted living, I would suggest that you ask, what do you offer? And then tell them what your needs are. Tell them what your needs are and see if they can amp up the service. They go by tier 1 and tier 2. You can be assisted living, but they have to do additional work for you. And that's an extra charge. That's an extra charge. In most buildings, there's an extra charge up to $950 I used to see for administering your medication. And then it goes, if the need increases while you're in assisted living, they will tap on another fee on that. So be very, very, very attentive when they speak. And when they're speaking, sometimes they tend to have like a script. It's like a sales pitch. Well, we have this and we have this and we have that. Ask them to slow down. Ask the person that you're meeting with to slow down and speak slowly and clearly so you can get a full understanding of what you're getting into. Because assisted living is where I find people have the most difficulties because they're looking for a little bit more. And when they got placed, welcome, thanks for coming in. As you come in, please click on the thumb for me. So when they get there and they're there for 2 and 3 months and they don't feel like going to the dining room, and they want the food to be brought up to their room. Some buildings, thank you, some buildings charge. Some buildings charge. I have seen buildings charge $5, $7, $8 to bring a tray up to your room. So while you're negotiating everything, make sure you understand what is offered for assisted living. accommodations, food, medication, laundry. If your doctors and your care providers are within, I would say, 10 to 15 miles, some homes will take you. They also will take you whether you're in assisted living or independent living. If you don't have transportation to go to the supermarket, they will take you to the supermarket. Most buildings, you can have your medication delivered. The other question that should be on your list is, do you provide lab services? If I need a blood test, INRs are the most common ones. If I need a blood test, does your facility accommodate the blood rep coming in to do my blood test? What are the policies for that? My visiting nurse, can she come in? Now, I'd like you to understand that the law says that anywhere you call home should be accessible for you to get care. So whether it's a group home, an independent living, assisted living, or your home, and you get to a point where you cannot ambulate to go for care, providers will come to you. They will come to you. There are so many providers out there that now goes to facilities, your home, to care for you. So you've got that all taken care of. Here is the other issue. Hi, Angelina. Good evening. So nice to see you, Angelina. So nice to see you. Remember to like for me, Angelina. So nice to see you. How are you doing? How are things going? So again, you're there for 3 months and you want to go to the store. You like your laundry done outside. These are things that can be accessible in living in that building. So you're able to get all your needs met. But remember, extra fees will always be attached to everything that they have not discussed, to everything that is not in writing. Most buildings, welcome everyone, thank you. Most buildings have a hair salon, nail salon. Those are separate charges. Those are separate charges. And here's what I've been seeing. Even though you're in an independent assisted living community, if there is care that you need that they don't have the staff for, there is a charge also. In many cases, these assisted living facility, independent living facility, nursing home facilities, they have relationship with agencies that they use, and they will say to the family, she's getting up every half an hour and she needs support for safety, and we don't have the staff to cover that. That's on you. That's on you. That's why making a decision, thank you, Angelina, they are. That's why I have always try my best to encourage families that can afford it, that mom has her own home and it's already paid off, to try as much as possible to keep the person home. Socialization tends to be socially, and I'm sure my nursing assistants that's online can share their experience in the chat. Socialization tends to be the biggest reason and the need for 24-hour care to go in senior facilities. However, if and one of I've heard from a lot of caregiver nursing assistant why some family don't want to keep the family member is because they think they're paying the individual too much. Now let me pause and say, because someone sent me a text. When a caregiver come in your presence to take care of your family member, you have agreed on the payment. If it's private, if it's agency, you have also agreed. But what I'm hearing from private caregivers is that sometimes family is alleged to have to say things like, I'm paying you too much. I can't believe I'm paying you so much money. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It makes the person uncomfortable. And I think I spoke about that in previous videos. But this individual called me and she says, every time she suggested something, allegedly now, I'm not there, I don't know, she suggests something to the family. They say to her, I'm paying you too much already. Come on, family. To take care of your loved one, to keep them safe, to make sure that their health is maintained. It's a need. It's a need because you're not able to do it. So if you're not able to do it and you have someone doing it, don't let them feel uncomfortable the way you talk to them and you treat them. Don't let them feel uncomfortable because you're not able to do it. So if you're hiring somebody to do it, be respectful. Be respectful. So having someone in an assisted living or independent living community or a nursing home, the staff is not always there. Yes, Angelina, private worker. The staff is not always there at the facility to take care of every need of your family member. However, when you have your family member at home, the most you'll have is 3 people. One from 8 to 8 or 7 to 7, you decide the hours with the individual, and another one at night and one on weekends. So therefore, you have more attention, you know who's coming in, and the consistency and the relationship builds. It's not the same in the facilities. Whoever is on staff is who you get. Whoever is pulled from another floor is who you get. And remember, you're not the only one on the floor. Say, I have heard allegedly that up to 20, 30 patients a CNA or caregiver can have on one shift. So when you call for help, you might have to wait a little longer. So if the administrator thinks that your needs are too much, they're going to encourage your family to call in for extra help. It's on you. So if you're in the home and you have caring personnel there taking care of your family, they're consistently there. They get to know them. Be kind. Be kind. You're paying them. It's not a donation. They're working hard. They're working hard. And yes, it seemed like a lot for you, but that was what you agreed on. And the fact that you are giving it to an individual, it shouldn't be where you get to the point where you're verbally abusive about it. Okay, so true. Someone says having someone in the home versus having someone in a nursing home or assisted living or with an agency, you're saving a lot of money. You're saving a lot of money. So while you're looking at placing your family member, remember that all your needs will not be met with that flat price they gave you. Whatever the agreement is, whatever the agreement is, whatever the agreement is, if it's $5 for XYZ, you're not going to get ABC in that same column. But when if you can afford to stay home, you get A to Z because it's an agreement. The individual is much more flexible because they know you're busy. Your mom or dad or sister or brother or wife or husband cannot be alone. So when they extend the hours, if you agree for a 12-hour shift and you're working and your shift runs late, you have to pay extra. You have to pay extra because the agreement is 7 to 7. So anything over that, I wouldn't say it's time and a half, but it's extra pay. So if you're paying $5 an hour and the person goes to 14 when your agreement is 12, then you have to pay for the extra too. And telling the individual, and again, this is alleged, telling the individual that you pay them too much already and why you have to pay for the extra hours, because they're working. Because they're working. And if you were in a facility and the facility cannot take care of your loved one fully the way you want it, they would also encourage you to find someone. So let's go back. You're at the facility. You made your agreement. You're there, but you have become a little more needy, as I said. You have to keep that to a limit. If a caregiver is visiting your room every hour, there comes the social worker or the nurse that will suggest to your family that you're going to need extra support, and it's going to be the family's financial responsibility to provide that. It has become so common now. One of the things that keeps bed empty in these facilities, one of many, but I'll say the top 10 is the food, as I said before, the staff, and adding all these little fees. And adding all these little fees to the care. So when you're preparing for senior living, weigh all your options. Is it better for me to... Sorry, guys. There's a them. And say I on Wednesdays to socialize. I go to the group. There's so many groups in them. Not everything, because believe me, I've clients that have no interest in bingo because bingo was not a part of their life. Because they got older doesn't mean that they're going to do the things that they don't do. So if you can find stuff in the community for the caregiver, the individual, and keep them home, look at those options. Look at those options. In some of these facilities, you're only getting a shower probably once a week. Probably once a week. If your family member loves a shower every night, you will be charged extra for that. Versus being at home, they can get their shower whenever they want because they have their caregiver right there for 12 hours in the days. So in preparing for senior living, weigh all your options. And if this is something that you have decided and this is something that will work for you, make sure, again, as I said before, you make it clear what time you love to eat, because there are scheduled times. They start dinner at 5. Do you want to be the first batch of person going in? Or do you want to go at 4:30? Because you have made friends and your friends are going down at 4:30. These are also things that needs to be discussed on your interview. Now remember, when you go in for the tour, they're going to show you their best. The meal that you get for the tour might not be the meal you get as a resident, because they know you're coming in. This is a sales pitch. They need you. So you're going to get the best. You're going to get the best. So ask the question, is meal going to be, is my meals going to be as tasty as this one? Talk about your dietary preference. Do you like pork? Do you like shrimp? Do you like lobster? Do you like steak? Do you like chicken? Are you a vegetarian? Are you a vegan? All these things needs to be discussed. Because remember, they're giving you a sale pitch. So you need to be able to stop them and say, here are my questions. So when you have made the decision, to stay there, you will be happy. Now remember, nothing in life is perfect. Nothing. Nothing in life is perfect. But as long as you do your due diligence, make your needs known ahead of time, and you're comfortable with the place, you walk in there and it does not smell. It's not supposed to smell, guys. I remember a family member, when I was working, came behind me. I was signing in and she stepped behind me and she had someone with her, and the person said, oh, this place have a smell. And she goes, it's a nursing home. No, it's not supposed to smell. It's not supposed to smell. It's supposed to be a pleasant aroma coming from the building. You're not supposed to smell like a garbage smell, a medicine smell. It's supposed to be a comfortable aroma coming out of the building. So, after you have done all of that, here is my nugget. So you saw the professionals, you made the deal. I would suggest too that the first time you visit, you don't sign anything. Go home and mull it over. Go home and mull it over. Go home and talk about it with the individual, the family member or the friend or your husband or your wife that visited with you. Talk about it. Hear their impression. Hear their impression. And see how the other person feels about it. And you know what I would do? I would just pop in. Because now, believe me, the receptionist, welcome, welcome, thanks for joining, thanks for joining. The receptionist will always remember you. When you go in for tours, they never forget your face. You walk in the door and say, good evening. They go, oh, you were here for a tour. And you just say to them, I just came back to take another look. Because you do not call them ahead of time. They're open until, I think the last visit is like 9, 10 o'clock at nights. So you can go in the days and you just tell them, where is your lunchroom? I mean, the lunchroom for the residents. Where can I get a cup of coffee? And you just peruse around. You just peruse around to see what goes on. You go back without an appointment to see what goes on. And the other thing I forgot to talk about is ask them how many staff is on the floor at nights. Because in most cases, to probably 1 or 2 plus the nurse. If that is something that is of a concern to you, voice it. Voice it. So now I hope you have understanding of the things to look for when you're looking for senior living, making your needs known up front. I would suggest again on your first visit, do not sign anything. Just politely tell them, this was a pleasant tour. I need to go home and think. Also, I would suggest visit at least 3. Visit at least 3 and compare. This one will do this one will do that one won't do that. So you're making the best decision for yourself. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has been helpful. This has been Home Care Queen TV, and I am your host, Muriel Melville. If you are not in need of a caregiver or a home care provider, there's someone in your circle that does. Spread the news. Home Care Queen TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good night, good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you're watching from.